security forces immediately moved in on receipt of the information, but unfortunately on arrival, they found that the bandits and friend using a motorboat. We have mounted a search and rescue operation.
Seven months is a long time, and under the circumstances, with my husband passing away, made it harder. I'm just happy to be. Happy to be released, and I'm looking forward to seeing my son.
Wananiuliza mzungu yuko wapi na watu wako wapi. Sasa mimi naambia mzungu ni simjui na watu pia siwajui.
David and Jude arrived in the country to spend some quality time away from home. The two had no idea they had become victims of a gang of kidnappers from Somalia. David died in the hands of the pirates while his wife was taken hostage. Tonight, we revisit the story of David and Jude in an ordeal that changed the war on terrorism on Kenyan soil. The first week of September 2011, a British couple, Judith and David Teba, arrived in the country to spend time away from home. The couple first flew to the Masai Mara Game Reserve, where they sampled the country's finest tourism sites before landing on an island in the coastal city of Lamu. When they arrived, Judith or Jude told the husband there was something off about the Kiwayu beach resort. They were the only occupants in the small tourist hotel. The husband, David, excited to be in Kenya for the long holiday, told the wife not to worry. In fact, he jokingly told her the small cottage they had occupied would be their prison. Unknown to the husband, this was to be the last night he will be alive. Minutes into the night, Jude says an armed group of people forced their way into the resort. Jude recalls seeing the husband struggling with a person in the dark. Jude will later be dragged from the hotel room, barefoot down the hotel beachfront into a waiting boat. This would be the last time she would taste freedom. She had become a captive of a notorious kidnapping ring of pirates in Somalia. Jude will leave behind the husband in the hands of other remaining kidnappers. He was shot dead by the gang of pirates moments later.
The engaged entry so easily, and it was only one shot. I think the husband resisted. From what we can be able to gather, he resisted, and that's why he was shot dead. Maybe they wanted to take the two, but he resisted. That's why he was shot.
Under pressure from increasing cases of terror attacks on its Kenyan soil, the government acted. The killing and kidnapping of David and Jude jolted the government to send in troops into Somalia.
We always live knowing that we have to be extra vigilant in protection of the integrity of our territory, the integrity of the security of our people and their property, and above all, keep a very keen watch on the events in Somalia.
Back home, police investigators in the island of Lamu were grappling with what exactly had happened on the night of the 11th of September 2011.
The security forces immediately moved in on receipt of the information, but unfortunately on arrival, They found that the bandits and friend using a motorboat.
With international pressure mounting on the local police to bring to book David Tebart's killers, police arrested one man whom they claimed at the time he had something to do with the kidnapping of David's wife and his subsequent murder. Ali Babitu Kololo, a father of two, was arrested. The man who will later become the center of attention for local and international media will later be charged in court for the murder of David Tebart and the kidnapping of his wife. Ali Babito Kololo was later arraigned before a Lamu court to face charges of robbery with violence and kidnapping. The prosecution calling to the witness stand a total of 20 witnesses, among them David's wife Judith. The prosecution built a case of a man who knew the terrain of the tourist resort well because at some point he had worked there. The prosecution had told the court that Kololo had worked at the hotel for several months before he was fired. The prosecution charged that Kololo was the man who led the gang of pirates into the quiet resort where they kidnapped Jude and killed her husband. Also presented in court was evidence including the clothes that Kololo had worn on the night of the incident. In the evidence list was a blood-stained bedsheet, pillowcases, a net with bullet holes, a floor mat, a spent cartridge, and the head of a bullet. All this recovered from the crime scene. Kololo will later tell the court that he had nothing to do with the couple's kidnapping. He disowned a confession he had made to the police when arrested and told the court he had penned it under duress and torture from police investigators. But police prosecutors told the court that when they arrested Kololo, his clothes were drenched in water and it looked suspicious. Prosecutors claiming it was Kololo and the gang of kidnappers who killed David Tebart. The direct evidence that will have seen the police recover the gun used to kill David Tebart was missing. The court now turned on the circumstantial evidence, linking Kololo to the murder scene. Police investigators recovered a shoe from the scene of the murder, the only evidence that linked Ali Babitu Kololo to the murder and kidnapping of the British couple. Matching the shoe with the footprint impression from the beach, prosecutors claimed the footprint impression and Kololo's foot matched. Kololo was placed at the scene of the kidnapping. As the trial went on, Judy's kidnappers set her free after what is believed was a ransom fee paid to the gang of pirates.
I'm just happy to be. I'm just happy to be released, and I'm looking forward to seeing my son.
Jude did not appear in court, but through a video link, she narrated to the court her ordeal in the hands of her kidnappers.
All the pirates were in the room. I looked at each one of them. I said, "You have killed my husband. You have killed my husband."
Jude had no idea that for 2 weeks after her capture, the husband had been killed.
I'm very relieved to have been released. 7 months is a long time. And under the circumstances, with my husband passing away, made it harder. I'm just happy to be. I'm just happy to be released, and I'm looking forward to seeing my son, who successfully secured my release. I don't know how he did it, but he did, which is great.
After 1 year on trial, 20 witnesses, some cross-examined by Kololo because at some point he lacked a lawyer, Ali Babitu Kololo was placed on his defense, the court ruling that the father of two had a case to answer. On the 29th of July 2013, Ali Babitu Kololo was convicted and sentenced to death for the murder of David Teba. Kololo received a further 7-year sentence for the kidnapping of Judith. While being handcuffed, Ali Babitu Kololo told the judge, "One day we shall all die," before being taken away into a prison van. Ali Babitu Kololo has never spoken to any local media house since he was arrested, prosecuted and jailed for the murder and kidnapping of the British couple. Babitu speaks for the first time and he says he had nothing to do with the incident. Case Files takes a short break.